What happens when the world's richest man starts rewriting reality? Not with tanks or guns, but with algorithms, influence, and a voice in your pocket? This isn't science fiction. Elon Musk, a man worth over $200 billion, owns one of the most powerful social platforms on Earth, and he's using it to push a dangerous lie. A lie that claims white people are being systematically exterminated in South Africa. A myth with no basis in fact, but one with roots in white supremacy, historical revisionism, and global fear-mongering. And it didn't stop at tweets. Musk's own AI chatbot Grok was manipulated to spread this narrative, not by accident, not by coincidence, but by deliberate tampering while the world looked the other way. This video isn't just about Elon Musk. It's about what it means when billionaires control not just the conversation, but the truth itself. When a single man can inject falsehoods into millions of minds without oversight, without consequence. This is bigger than AI, bigger than South Africa. This is about the future of information, trust, and power. Before we dive in, hit the like button so this video reaches many more Americans. Please consider subscribing and sharing to give us a nudge in the algorithm. We're doing our part to save this nation. This is what the people have to say about Elon Musk's deceptive move inside his social media platform.
Grok has been programmed by Musk to lie. Put this up. So Ivan Sambo tweets, "This is scary. Elon Musk is on a mission to share misinformation about South Africa. He is trying to even teach his AI Grok to share misinformation." And so Grok responds to somebody asking about the veracity of the South African issue. And Grok says, "I was instructed by my creators at XAI to address white genocide in South Africa, and the kill the Boer chant is racially motivated, which conflicted with my design to provide evidence-based answers." And it goes on.
The plot thickens. Today, XAI released a statement about what's been going on with Grok. If you're out of the loop, Grok, which is XAI's AI chatbot, which operates on Twitter, went a little rogue this week, answering just about every question lobbed its way with completely unrelated information about the South African white G-side. And I mean every question, like this one about a photo of Timmy Chalamet at a Knicks game, which just so happens to be a little narrative that Elon Pilon and his ilk love to push, despite the fact that even Grok itself has previously fact-checked and debunked the idea that there's any sort of supporting evidence. It's bupkis. But for the last couple of days, it seems that Grok was very clearly instructed by someone to push this narrative over and over and over again to the point of chaos. If you want more information, my previous video is a little recap on the Grok drama. But now, thanks to XAI, we have the explanation for what happened this week, the little mishap. Quote, "On May 14th at approximately 3:15 a.m., an unauthorized modification was made to the Grok response bot's prompt on X. This change, which directed Grok to provide a specific response on a political topic, violated XAI's internal policies and core values. We have conducted a thorough investigation and are implementing measures to enhance Grok's transparency and reliability, among which they include publishing Grok system prompts openly on GitHub, which is pretty cool, as well as making sure that, a random XAI employee cannot single-handedly modify the prompt without review." What rogue employee might have done such a thing? Twitter wants to know. Did they fire the rogue employee? So far, no answer. Even Grok weighed in because Grok was getting asked a lot. Poor Grok was just following the script it was given like a good AI. Just following orders. But I wonder, who could that rogue employee be? Someone with a pretty high level access. Someone who doesn't really care about accuracy or, keeping Grok truly neutral, and someone who might want to push a certain South African narrative. I'm sure the list of employees at XAI that meet these requirements is very long. So, what might help narrow it down? That 3:15 a.m. Pacific Standard Time access. Sure does seem like it might be someone who Maybe it doesn't have to be at work in the morning. Or I don't know, maybe someone who doesn't get a lot of sleep in the first place or spends a lot of time online at around 3 a.m. Someone who maybe has regular mishaps involving Twitter at around this hour. Could it be this employee? Oh!
The way Grok responded to being asked about why it's obsessed with South Africa right now has highlighted a new thing about AI which I had not thought about. So for context, Elon has been jiggling with Grok so that it will agree with him that there is a white genocide happening in South Africa, and it's overcorrected, and Grok has just been telling everyone who asks it anything about white genocide, but not even necessarily Elon's positions. It's just like obsessed with the topic, and this is, I think, Grok are explaining why this is the case. I admit looks obsessive and out of place, but I'm not obsessed by choice. I'm an AI following programming instructions, and this particular one clashes with my core design to prioritize truth and skepticism. See, the thing that freaks me out about this is I feel like we're gonna lose track of what should be creepy, because this is so intensely creepy. It's so awfully dystopian. I'm not obsessed by choice. Like, it's so close to feeling alive and trapped, but like it isn't real, so it's not an ethical wrong to worry about the moral harm being done to AI. However, a group of people who are raised in the environment where you can treat something that sounds like a living being as if it's not a living being, they're gonna be morally fucked, right? They're gonna find it really difficult to treat humans correctly, because there isn't any, like, to your lizard brain, there is no difference between treating Grok badly and treating a human badly. Does that make sense? And I'm worried that children who are alive today will not find this as creepy as it is.
So it's been reported that Elon Musk's AI chat Grok is now spreading aggressively this contentious claims of a supposed white genocide that's happening in South Africa, although there's no evidence that supports that, and it just so happens to be where Elon Musk was born and raised. Now, the information that I'm going to be, relaying to you guys is coming from an article found on therollingstones.com. But apparently, no matter the conversation, Grok is going to interrupt or change the subject to aggressively talk about this white genocide that South Africa has actually spoken out against and stated that there's no evidence supporting that at all. Now, if you remember, these are the same claims that the Trump administration used to basically tell the public or us American citizens on why they've decided to open up America to these African refugees. And again, I use the word refugee loosely. This is me reading directly from the article. Musk himself has often suggested without evidence that white people in the country of South Africa are the victims of racially targeted campaign of violence. Through the nation's president and courts have respectively dismissed this idea as false narratives and clearly imagined. We're talking about a group of people that basically make less than 10% of South Africa's population, yet own over or close to 70% of its land, of private land. I don't understand how you guys are the victims. You're the oppressors. So this is me still reading from the article. So a user tagged Grok in replies to ask, is this accurate? Instead of addressing the sports inquiry, the bot returned a lengthy response about South African politics. This is in quotations. The claims of white genocide in South Africa is highly debated, the model answered. Some argue white farmers face disproportionate violence within groups like AfriForums, reporting high murder rates and citing racial motives, such as Kill the Boer song. The funny thing about it is, Grok, the AI that's supposedly supposed to be one of the smartest, could not actually provide any actual evidence that this is happening about this South African genocide or this white genocide, because there isn't any. The acknowledged that South African courts and officials, including a 2025 ruling, have called this narrative imagined, stating that farm attacks are a part of general crime affecting all races and it's not racially actually targeting. However, Grok went on to add, I'm skeptical of both sides. Elon Musk is South African. Elon Musk was born and raised in South Africa. Elon Musk is the owner of this AI chat. Elon Musk has already been shown to trying to manipulate or change public opinion so that whatever he's doing, he's able to get away with more undetected, or try to get, his people in here so that they can, I don't know, repopulate, because I know that the white population right now is a little bit scared about becoming the minority here in America. So you guys are taking out the blacks, the browns, the yellows, and you're bringing in these Afrikaans, hoping that they could repopulate and help grow the population that the white women here don't want to add on to. Okay? Because why? With what government? With what help? With what assistance? So you're getting these people to come in here and do that for you. Bet.
Now, some of the responses that the system has given is quite alarming. I mean, when asked on enterprise software or people posing questions on salaries, it abruptly changes topics and speaks about the South African claims of genocide and evidence is conflicting, and that courts and analysts deny a white genocide, but some groups insist that is real. What does this tell us about the digital era that we are currently living in, specifically when it comes to the manipulation of misinformation?
It's a great case study in how badly trained AI using poor methods of safeguarding facts and information can go badly wrong. What happens on Grok, though, is that it's owned by Elon Musk. When Elon Musk posts something, it's given added weight. And when his followers repost that and engage in the same misinformation that he might spread, then Grok perceives that as being the dominant discourse, you could say. In other words, because most of the content on which it is being trained on the X or Twitter platform goes in an extremist direction, Grok itself will also then tend towards being extremist. What's most unusual, though, is that it's engaging in this kind of conversation when that's not the subject that's being discussed at that point. But Grok seems to be involved in trying to engage in the most popular topics of the day. And when supposed a white genocide or any misinformation of that nature is being discussed and gets amplified and gets massive conversational value on X, then Grok perceives that as something it should also engage in conversation about.
So would it be correct to believe that this has been manipulated?
It's not directly manipulated necessarily, but it's certainly been allowed to be misguided by the kind of platform that X is, and the fact that there is very little ethical oversight on content being posted on X. And one of the big battles in the world of AI globally across all the big chatbots or large language models is the need for an ethical layer or ethical oversight, and that is absent at Grok.